Alright, g'day Speedway means we are back. We are live in the trailer of Jeff Roth. Jeff, welcome to Australia.
Thank you.
Now you had a hard knock last night.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a learning curve there, but still brought back a top 10 finish, so we'll take that.
Well, that's always good to hear. I mean, it was a tough track. It was slick, it was fast, and there was 3 and 4 wide all night.
Yeah, it was a handful for sure.
Alright, so we got some questions here that some people have submitted.
Okay.
Alright, the first one is from Bo Rogers, and he asks, what is your favourite track and why?
Well, Bo, we've got a couple of tracks back home. We've got one in Oklahoma called Salina, Oklahoma, the high banks. It's a lot like this, a little higher banked, but we like it because it's fast and it's wide and we can race on it.
Alright, awesome. This one comes in from Matthew Doss and Bo Rogers. What is the major differences between American tracks and, from what you've seen in videos and what you've experienced here at the Motorplex, Australian tracks?
Well, I'm going to say the dirt is the big difference that we've got. Our dirt back home, it doesn't change. In other words, it changes, but it doesn't change from one condition to another and then back to the previous condition. I saw that last night. We were seeing a lot of the moisture start to come back up, which threw us a little bit of a curveball, but that for us is the biggest thing that we're adapting to right now is the dirt.
And how does the weather play a part? Because last night, we had a very hot day. It was sunny all day, and the track got really slick. And today we've got a really muggy day, and it's still hot, but there's a chance of rain later on. So how would that, in your opinion, affect the track?
Well, anytime you put the sun behind the clouds, it affects the drying out of the track. It slows it down. So that's going to leave the moisture out there, which in turn leaves it heavy, and it's a go fast racetrack.
All right, awesome. All right, this one comes in from Ian Woods. Why did you end up in late models? And what else have you tried?
Well, Ian, I actually started out in a class called Grand National. It was a full-body car, big motor. Went to modified after that, the open wheel modified, which is real big back in America. Raced it for a few years, and then believe it or not, my brother just showed up one day with a late model and said, "Hey, let's go late model racing." And it's something we always wanted to do. We couldn't afford it. It's expensive, but there was no tracks in our area where we live, northwest Arkansas. We don't have anybody running late models. We're a modified country, so we had a couple tracks close that started running late models, and so when that happened, we just made the switch from the modified to late models, and that's been probably 6-8 years ago, and ever since then, that's all we've had.
Oh, awesome. All right, now I've been told I do a pretty mean Southern American accent. Can you rate me on my accent?
Can I rate you on your accent?
Yes.
The Southern accent of America.
Yes, sir. Well, I do declare it is. It's kind of like a Southern accent. Well, I like to pretend that I'm from Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile? I give you an 8 on that.
An 8? Oh, yes.
I give you an 8 on that.
All right. Now this one's a bit of a long question.
Okay.
All right. Given Australia's smaller tracks, and based on what you've seen developed in the US, how do you view the local crate engine versus open engine scenario?
Well, the crate engine there's definitely a place for the crate engine. A smaller track that gets slick, definitely crate engine, probably an advantage versus a disadvantage on a slick track. But you come to Perth, this is a good example of you got a crate engine, you might as well park it. I mean, you're going to go out there, you're going to make laps, but you're going to be around the back getting lapped. You got to have a force under the hood if you're going to race here.
Alright, and the second part to this question, which is by the way by Evan Wakefield, is do you think there will always be mixed fields, or do you think maybe one day they'll split them up into 2 different series?
Well, the crate versus the open?
Yeah.
Well, I think you'll always see it because that's always a motor option for guys. And there are some guys that just can't afford a big open motor. So back home we've got crate lates. I mean, they do have a special series for the crates. And so you not very often do you see the guys with crate motors running with the big open motors. But by and large, we see a separation, but it's just hard for the crate motors to run with the open motors. If you're on a track like this, if it slicks up, then the crate motor doesn't have a disadvantage. So as far as what happens here in Australia, I just think you're right now just keeping the brand, keeping the late model brand, building and whatnot, at whatever that takes. If that means you got to get some crate guys in here, some 525 crates that can be competitive, then I think that's fine. But you need car count. We need good cars over here. The guys got to start somewhere. It's a good starting point for them. So run a year or so with a crate, then get you an open motor. It's going to make them a lot better. You're going to tear up a lot less equipment. But I think it's a good idea to be able to let them run over here, in Australia. It's a good idea.
Yep. All right. Now, so you've been in Australia for about a week and a half now.
Right.
How have you experienced it so far?
Well, I tell you what, it's been a lot of fun. We have really enjoyed. I have enjoyed my wife's been sick for a couple days, so can't speak for her so much. But I've enjoyed the people. I get up in the morning, I'll go jog, I'll go run. The other day I went and found me a haircut someplace to cut my hair, and I was there at 9 o'clock in the morning and got my hair cut and got a beer. I mean, you don't get that back home, and I mean the people have just been so friendly. And like I tell people, I've said this already here a couple times, but I went to Italy over the summer, and was miserable because the people were miserable. Over here, it's awesome, man. Everybody's so happy that makes the trip worthwhile for coming over, in my opinion.
All right, so next week, you're starting to head to some of the country tracks like Albany and Margaret River.
Right.
This question comes in from my sister, actually.
Okay.
Are you afraid of running into drop bears?
Drop bears, as in koalas? That type?
They're kind of like koalas, but they're like bigger and meaner.
Yeah.
And they drop out the trees.
Oh. Well, I would. Do they bite? They bite you and mess you up?
Oh yeah, they're deadly.
Okay, well then I'm going to say, how do I feel about them? I just as soon not experience them. How about that? I honestly did. I mean, anything that's going to drop out of a tree and harm me, or even harm me any way, shape, or form, I'm going to try to stay away from it. So.
All right, so this USA invasion is only going to be this week and next week. So what are your plans for after the US invasion tour is over?
I believe we are. I believe we're going to head over to the East Coast, and we're going to run they've got a big race over there. A couple nights, Australian World Championship or something like that.
I do believe it's the Australian title race. So that's where you race to get the number 1 AU on the side of your car.
So we're gonna go over there, and we're gonna take a shot at that before we go home. So we've got races for the next 2 or 3 weeks, I believe.
All right. So with what you've experienced so far, what do you reckon the chances are of you coming back next year?
Well, I'd really enjoy that, and everybody's been so good. I've had people ask me that same question. I said, hey, look, you show me where to sign, I'll sign right now. We'd love to come back next year. I mean, we hope that we do a good enough job. Hope that everybody enjoys it as much as we do. We'd be more than happy to come back next year and do this all over again. I think it'd be great. I think we'd be better than what we are even right now. We struggled a little bit last night getting these are our cars. They've never raced here. Joe raced here one night and kind of got some bugs worked out of his. Mine, we practiced a little bit, but still getting out and racing against the competition showed us that we had some things. I had some carburetor issues last night that we had to work on, and just the different in elevation from the States to here, things are a little different.
Yep.
So I think we're getting closer, but we'd love to come back.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time, mate.
You're welcome.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your time here in
All right.
Australia, and I hope to see you back next year.
Awesome. Let's try that.